Yeah, enjoy your tea. Do enjoy your tea. When it's a Lunar tea party, we all enjoy our tea, so don't be afraid to grab some tea when you're watching us. Nier is a type of game that you don't play for the sake of gameplay. It's one of those games that you put your time into for its alluring story and its infamous usage of Hegelian dialectics. For this video, we won't explore much into the deep philosophical premise of Nier. Rather, we'll be diving into its literary theme of absurdism. Absurdism was coined by the mid-20th century Algerian French novelist Albert Camus. For Camus, reality was a meaningless amusement park, alright, but his assertion on meaningless is emphasized as evident in his essay, The Myth of Sisyphus. The focus of the essay is the Greek legend of Sisyphus, who is condemned by the gods for eternity to repeatedly roll a boulder up a hill, only to have it roll down again once he got it to the top. The metaphor that can be drawn here is Sisyphus' meaningless and persistent struggle to repeat the same action over and over. This is what Camus refers to as the absurd. Thus, he proposes a solution to the readers and asks them to imagine Sisyphus in a wholly different facet. He says, "The struggle itself toward the heights is enough to fill a man's heart. One must imagine Sisyphus happy." It's about as clear as day that the game's director, Yoko Taro, draws heavy inspiration from Neon Genesis Evangelion. Such can be inferred from not just the similar type of story writing they both follow, but from the type of theme they stress in the mediums. Although our separate video could do more justice to the comparisons between Nier and Evangelion, it helps to narrow down their thematic similarities. For starters, they both follow an insurmountable goal. Evangelion centers around Shinji trying to please his loved ones and gaining recognition, while Nier centers around the protagonist trying to cure their daughter or sister depending on which region you're from the Black Scroll disease. Shinji tries his best to overcome all obstacles and find refuge in being satisfied with these tasks. However, he's left to rot over and over. Thus, we must imagine his happiness rather than expect it as an actual outcome. With Nier, the inevitable doom that befalls him is from a lack of knowledge pertaining to his actual purpose for existence. While Nier himself doesn't appear to care that he's a facade of the antagonist, the outcome within the plot shows us that his actions were equally as ludicrous as the antagonist's millennium-long urge to get his daughter back. Gestalt is a German word which simply means form. Gestalts and replicants have quite a fascinating composition when it comes to their demeanor and their structural integrity. Understanding them may aid us with a brief look into the school of Gestalt psychology, having its origins in Austria and Germany. Propounded by psychologists Max Wertheimer, Wolfgang Kohler, and Kurt Kofka, the essential study and theorization of human perception contained the following adage: "The whole is more than the sum of its parts." What they meant was that humans perceive entire patterns, figures, or forms, and not the details of it. There are 7 principles of Gestalt psychology: proximity, similarity, closure, symmetry, common fate, continuity, past experience. For this video, we won't be going into full detail on what each of those are. However, if you're really interested in the theory of Gestaltism, give Tip Tots the Gestalt Principles, Basics for Beginners, a watch. For now, we'll just hang on to the adage that Gestalt theory is summarized into. As a player of the video game, one doesn't understand how and why the contrasts between replicants and gestalts make sense unless you play past ending A of Nier. Many seem to miss the point of there being multiple routes, mistaking it for being repetitively formulaic, sadistic, or fun. Like other RPGs, Nier doesn't jest here. It just uses this game mechanic to further its story's depth. The first part of the game throws you into this ever so cliché good versus bad trope. The hint for second route isn't really clear until you're 80 to 90% done with route A. It's only when the player learns the truth about Project Gestalt that the clue for a second route becomes apparent. While one could skip the other endings if they wanted to, they also happen to miss more backstories and unscathed dialogues. You don't understand what the shades even talk about until you start playing through Route B. This is when the height of despair and absurdism is supposed to hit the player. The core idea of Yoko Taro's game design is to enable this very emotion in the player. It also helps to know that the trope of destructing good and evil is a very Nietzschean theme, but he garners this theme from the aftermath of 9/11. As stated in a 2014 article by Silicon Era, which talks about a presentation of Taro's, for Nier's design, he revealed, he was deeply influenced by the events of 9/11 and the world thereafter. 9/11 was an unfortunate event that triggered out of a situation where both sides believed they were doing the right thing. The question is, what did they see from their point of view? What does it look like from each other's perspectives? These were the thoughts that went through his head when he was making Nier. Both replicants and gestalts, with their justified true beliefs, fight for a cause in which they think they're doing the right thing, be it protecting their kind or ridding evil from the world. In Route B, the player learns about the ingenuity of the other side. Here's one example. The very first little shades that you'll meet outside of the village will not attack you. Emphasis on little, by the way. Those were the souls of human kids. The player essentially murders human kids at the beginning of the game. The game itself doesn't punish you for this really, because it's not trying to hold you accountable, it's trying to delude you into thinking that you, the player, are taking pleasure out of just another video game. Your actions have consequences for which you have no control or awareness of. By the end of each route of Nier, you're left with the same results, except for ending C and D. Both of them force you to make a dire choice to save either the person you care for by sacrificing yourself or by killing them. If you choose to sacrifice yourself, you lose your save data. This is where Taro's genius mind truly remarks itself with the game's mechanics. You, the player, who has been spending over 30 hours trying to finish this game, is now being asked to delete their save data for saving a fictitious character. The outcome of this choice means that your existence will not even be remembered or acknowledged. However, hold on. Well, this may be the meaningful part of the entire game, we're forgetting that humans are doomed towards extinction. You see, the antagonist of this game was a part of a 1,000-year-old project to save humanity from an incurable disease. This antagonist is you, the player. Replicants are the shells, while gestalts are the original human souls. Due to the sentience of replicants, getting them back together with gestalts has become delicate. It's due to this that the protagonist even fights in the first place. The antagonist is the original harbourer of gestaltization, a process meant to separate human souls from their bodies in the hopes of putting them back into another shell. Without the existence of the antagonist, all gestalts or shades will come to relapse and go haywire. While for replicants, reproduction is impossible, so they won't survive more than a few hundred years. With this fate delivered by the video game, humanity's extinction becomes inevitable. Remember the adage of Gestalt theory about being whole? Well, it's put straight through irony by the game. None are ever whole throughout the game, but the whole that each side perceives aren't even the real whole. In short, Gestaltism's theory of human superficiality and perception is accurately implemented by the theme of absurdism. The fight was meaningless all along, but the illusory joy of saving someone at the last route of the game is what we, the player, should be grateful for. Like Sisyphus, one must imagine that Nier's sacrifice was for the sake of happiness. This is the absurdism Nier portrays to the players. Thank you for watching. Good day, you all. This is Toby Adolphus Mark, the host of the Lunar Tea Party. First of all, I want to thank everyone and anyone who actually decided to watch this video, because it was like 10 minutes of me jabbering my fucking intellect. Well, whatever it is, I hope you enjoyed the video. This was actually my first time doing a scripted video, so please do forgive any mistakes I make. And I know I made a lot of claims in the past few minutes, in the past 10 minutes or so, and well, if there are any mistakes, feel free to point them out in the comments below. I mean, this is my first time, so I'm prone to mistakes, whether it be pseudo-intellectual or whatever. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Do make sure to comment your opinion on this video. Do you think I actually executed the theme of the video right? And do you think I answered your questions or anything? And, well, you can like or dislike the video, up to you. Besides that, do subscribe if you can. See you all in a millennium. Peace.